Dricus, congratulations on the win. Just curious how you're feeling after such a crazy fight like that.
Oh wow, I feel amazing. That was finally got that decision win. First time going to a decision, and it couldn't have gone any better. If a decision had to be like that, I'll go to a decision every time, because that is a hard-fought decision. That is a decision the crowd loves. That is a decision that doesn't matter if that fight was finished or not. People were entertained. I was entertained. I left everything in there. I walked out of that cage, not necessarily just because of the win, but because of what I did in there. I felt that everything I needed to do and I wanted to do, I did, and it felt amazing.
If I didn't know, I would have known just watching this fight that you hadn't fought in about a year. Because it seemed like you just let everything out in that fight. It seemed like, because you were kind of a wild man in there. You just let it all out. It was like almost like you were taking all your frustrations over the last year out on Brad Tavares. Is that sort of accurate? Did you just start to get flowing and just realize like, now I'm off and I'm running and nothing can stop me now?
Listen, I wouldn't say I wanted to. I stayed composed. I wasn't wild, but there was a part of me that knew this guy I was fighting, Brad Tavares. He is known for being a savage. He's known for the guy that he makes it ugly, he makes it a war. That's the way he fights. So everybody before me fought him by, the guys that beat him being more technical. If you look at Edmund Sebastian, if you look at how Whitaker knocked him out, more technical, and that second round came. After that first round, it was so sticky, we were dry, there was no sweat, so he was just holding on to me, and I was like, come on. And I tried to get up, and I was like, cool, you take this first round, you take it. And that second round, I was like, I'm going to beat you at your own game right now.
When we look back on your career, because obviously you have a long way to go, but I feel like this is going to be one of those fights that you're going to look back on as one of the most important of your career because of how tough Brad was, the kind of fight he gave you. Do you agree with that this is one of those fights that maybe in the book of Dricus Du Plessis, this will be its own chapter for you?
100%. I made history tonight as a South African being in the top 15. It's incredible. I mean, I'm incredibly proud of that in itself. Being in the top 15, South Africa in the UFC, the biggest organization in the world, against an extremely, extremely incredible opponent, Brad Tavares. But this fight, most certainly, I said it before, I want to find my feet in the octagon, because my first fight was, 2.5 minutes, then 1 round and 2 minutes. Now I had my octagon time, and now I assume a lot of people thought after that first or second round, this guy's going to gas. I didn't gas. I could do that. That's the way I train, and that's the way I fight. And it felt incredible to be in there. And like you said, this is going to be one of those memorable fights that this is when I stepped into the top 15, and I'm not leaving this top 15. I'm only going up from here. And this fight has to be a testimony. This fight has to put the rest of this division on note. If I don't knock you out, if I don't submit you, at the end in the deep waters, I will still be there, throwing with everything I have.
And last thing for me, Kelvin Gastelum, you threw the name out there. How confident are you that that's the fight they're going to go, and when would you like to potentially fight him? I know you just fought it, but we don't like to let you savor the flavor all that long before we start asking you the what's next.
Yeah, listen, I'm not the matchmaker, but I feel it makes sense. The fight was basically already made. I did him a solid, I did the UFC a solid to take that fight on a very short notice, and I was the only one that lost there. I gave up my opponent, he pulled out on fight week, and now I was left without a fight. I mean, that's in the past. I got a massive performance now, I got my new contract, I'm fighting the big dogs now, and if they don't want to make the Gastelum fight, give me somebody else in the top 10. Whoever they want to give, I'm ready. I think tonight proved. I got 2 knockouts, and tonight I got that very, very good finish and that very good decision. I showed that it's not only a 1 or 2 round fighter. I'm a guy that can go the distance. So yes, that is obviously the fight that makes sense in terms of there's a little bit of a history there, but that's not the only fight I want. I want to fight whoever is in my way to the title.
Dricus over here. Back to Brad. Was there anything in the fight about him that maybe you weren't expecting that, after the fight looking back, you're like, wow, I didn't prep for that, or anything that maybe surprised you in the fight?
Yeah, the fact that I could hit through a brick wall but couldn't get him down He's extremely tough. I think it was the second round I nearly got him out of there, and I just thought 10 more seconds. I caught him nicely, but I mean that's actually didn't surprise me. We prepared for that. I knew Brad Tavares was one incredibly tough guy. I expected more kicks from him. To be honest, I did expect him to kick more. It's the first time, I don't know, in all of his fights that I watch, he did a lot of those front kicks, but usually he kicks a lot more for the legs. He does a lot more, he kicked some body kicks, but I guess that would surprise me, but nothing really. Obviously we knew he had great takedown defense. The plan wasn't to take him down if the stand-up was going good. Had to, caught a big slip there in the beginning of the first, and that forced me in the clinch, but that wasn't the game plan at all. But yeah, like I said, I wasn't surprised in anything. He is an incredible fighter, and I knew that going in, and I still believe that even more now.
And I know it's a fresh win, but what is the plan after this? Is it go back home? Is it go to Florida, train there? Like what's sort of the next months looking like for you?
Well, ever since I walked out of that cage, I've been asking that man right there for a beer, and we have not been given any beers. So that is as far as my plan goes right now, is getting a beer, and after that we're going to spend some time here. My little niece has a dancing championships. She's 8 years old. She's going to ace that too. She's dancing in Miami, so I'm flying over there for a couple of days, but then I'm going back home, celebrate this victory as a family and friends, and spend some time there. But I'll be back in here before the end of the year, no doubt.
And just last one for me, I don't know how close you guys are, but Ian Gary Machado getting that win over Gabe Green tonight. Did you have a chance to watch the fight? Did you see it?
I did not watch the fight, but I'm really happy. I spoke to Coach Henry Hooft and Craig Jones afterwards, and I'm really happy for them. It's a team we cross-train with, and it's amazing for them. I mean, they are an incredible team, world-class, like you saw. Really happy for him. He's on a 5-fight win streak right now, isn't he? For such a young kid, he's really making a name for himself. Nice guy, and he's an incredibly talented fighter.
Okay, Dricus, right back here. You had obviously a lot of setbacks to get back to the cage, but I noticed your last two fights have been in this arena at the T-Mobile. You've only fought here and Fight Island since you've been with the UFC. Would you like to travel? Would you like to kind of hit the road and explore a new market when you fight next?
I like traveling, I guess, but you put on the show and I fight. I love Vegas. It's a fight capital. I love fighting here, but it honestly doesn't make a difference to me. Wherever they put on the fights, I'm happy to go there and fight. Vegas is great. It's always fun to fight here with the PI being right here. I have friends. I have teams that I know. It's great to be here. It's great to be here. But wherever they put on the fights, I'm ready to go there. I enjoy the traveling, but fighting in the United States, it's amazing. I love fighting in the States. I feel the States has a different vibe to it when you fight in the United States. I think the UFC just brings it, especially fighting in Vegas, T-Mobile Arena. Well, fight weeks, obviously, the penultimate, but I feel the UFC just steps it up.
And then finally, to help out the fans, when they see you and they want to buy you a beer, what should they send your way?
Right now, like I told him, anything with the word beer on it. But I like to think I'm a badass, but I'm not at all. I drink light beers, so I just drink a lot of them. So any light beer, send it my way, and we'll have a beer together.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Great performance. Congrats on the win. Some people will think, yes sir, you're welcome. Well, I was a little reckless. Why did he get there given the openings he needed? But it's all about the glory. Like, you threw caution to the wind sometimes and gave Brad possible openings, but it sure made for the best fight of the night.
Absolutely. I mean, once I saw that first round, I think the fight would have gone a very, very different route. Obviously, when we planned this, we were like, cool, fighting with the more technical striking, that's the way to go. And I said this before the fight, he's not going to change his style ever. And he didn't change his style. He had a more calm approach, but you know what, I think he was surprised at my pace. I came out in the second round and I knew I lost that first round. And I was like, well, I didn't it's not like he beat me. things didn't go my way, and I said, okay, I have to win the second and third. It's the first priority, and I said, now it's going to be a fight. Now I have to go and fight him. I have to make this guy, I have to earn that respect back from Brad Tavares, because he came out in the second knowing, listen, I just beat this guy in the first round. So I had to earn that respect back, and there was only one way to do that, and that's getting down and let's do it. And I have to show, like, listen, I'm not only technical striker, I don't only have the power, but if you want a dog fight, I'm ready for it. And yeah, maybe a little bit reckless. It looked reckless, I get that, but I was in control of that fight. My coach was screaming the combinations, he was screaming what to do, and he was giving me, saying yes or no, and he said, I was listening perfectly to my corner when I thought that it might have looked like chaos in there, but it was all calculated.
Excellent. And with that being said, back and forth action, you've earned everybody's respect. He's ranked, you're not as of now. Could it have been any better in your thought? Like, I'm going to bust my way into this top 15, and this is how I wanted it.
Yeah, man, this victory feels so satisfying, knowing that I didn't go out there and caught him with a punch. I didn't catch him with a punch. You could say, oh, I caught him with the hook, caught him with straight, whatever. I worked for my bread tonight. I earned my pay tonight. I earned that spot. I said that before we came out here. I'm going to war and I'm going to claim my spot in that top 15, and that's exactly what I did. And it felt amazing, and I'm really happy to hear that I earned respect. It means the world to me.
Excellent. Congratulations and best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.